Age 67 is presented by Burlington Industries. If it's anything to do with fabric, we do it for you, your home, and industry. And by Singer, who invite you to come in and sew. Come in and listen. Come in and see for yourself that what's new for tomorrow is at Singer today.
Presenting all kinds of cameo support stockings for all kinds of women. For mothers of small children, we make sturdy cameo support stockings. For wild music makers and lazy beauties, we make sheer cameo support stockings. In fact, we make 5 styles in 15 different colors. There's a cameo support stocking for every woman, even a go-go girl. Cameo support stockings not only give you support, Cameo gives you a choice.
Cameo stockings, just one part of Burlington Industries. If it's anything to do with fabric, we do it at Burlington, and we do more of it than anyone in the world.
Mr. Ambassador. How do you do? And Mrs. Otis. Welcome to Canterville Hall. Well, allow me to show you around. Oh, this is the staff. Been with the family for years. Not including the servants' quarters, there are 9 reception rooms, 17 bedrooms, and you will be pleased to hear 2 baths. The place was completely modernized by my grandfather in the spring of 1896.
Impressive yet cozy is Canterville Hall.
This is the informal sitting room, what you would call the rumpus room. Oh, a portrait of my great-uncle, the Reverend Arthur Canterville, Dean of the Cathedral until a rather unfortunate incident in the choir loft.
The servants are thorough in Canterville Hall.
Besides many other royalties, Queen Elizabeth I slept here on the 9th of August, 1581. A full account of the incident may be found in Sir Roger Purdy's massive work, Tudor Days and Nights.
I feel like a princess in Canterville Hall.
Later, I must show you the stables and the game preserve. The water garden's rather gone to pot, I'm afraid, but I must show you a most amusing kind of pergola by Inigo Jones.
There's plenty of action in Canterville Hall.
Of course, Lady Canterville and I can't afford to keep this place up. We live behind the gate lodge in a rather nasty little cottage. If only we were American and well-to-do.
Wouldn't we have us a ball? We'd be no trouble at all. I feel apprehensive, I couldn't say why.
A vote is in order. In favor, say aye.
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 It's Canterville Hall.
We'll take it.
For the summer at least.
Oh, there is one small point that I feel I ought to bring it out.
Oh?
The place is haunted.
Haunted
Haunted.
by memories of the past.
By a ghost.
A ghost.
Now, Lord Canterville, you're not going to tell me that you believe
Mr. Ambassador, I would scarcely bring the subject up if I didn't.
Oh, well, sir, your point's well taken.
Oh, Brian, there is a ghost, isn't there? There is, my lord. Thank you. A ghost. The ghost of my ancestor, Simon de Canterville. Descended from Philippe de Canterville, a Norman nobleman who arrived in England in 1065 with a small scouting party. Well, Sir Simon here was a man of parts, a minor poet and a good friend of Guy Fawkes. The portrait is attributed to Van der Velde, the elder. Well, early in 1611, he murdered his wife, Sir Simon, that is, and soon afterwards disappeared in rather mysterious circumstances. There were rumors, of course, but nothing more. But ever since, his guilty spirit has roamed this place and forces me to reduce the rent.
How about that? A ghost?
I myself have seen him on no less than 4 separate occasions. He appears in outlandish garments and goes whooping up and down. That's rather amusing, I think. Yes, but Lady Canterville has no sense of humor and completely harmless, of course. The ghost, I mean. But I must admit that in 1904, he so frightened Lady Amelia Tittle that she disinherited the Cantervilles, who were her nearest relatives, mark you, and gave all her money to a chemist in Wigmore Street.
A ghost?
Well, his existence is verified by the BAPS, the British Academy of Psychical Sciences, you know, the BAPS. A reputable body, I might add, founded in 1885. A ghost. Well, you see this spot of blood? It was right here that Lady Eleanor fell when her husband, Sir Simon, threw her from what was once the Minstrels' Gallery. Destroyed, unfortunately, in 1644 by Oliver Cromwell in a fit of pique. But ever since, through the centuries, that spot has proved impossible to eradicate. Have you ever seen such formidable evidence?
Never. But nevertheless, we'll take the facts.
This is the most. Don't tell the Washington Post. Where else but in England could such a thing be?
Perhaps if we're lucky, we're liable to see none other than the Canterville Ghost.
Well, it's jolly sporting of you.
We'd like to take possession the first of the week.
Splendid. Well, if you'll give me a moment, I'll just inform the staff.
Certainly.
I say, do remind me to tell you about Madame de Tremouillac, who was a guest here in 1765. She awoke in the middle of the night to see a skeleton sitting by her fire, reading her diary. I don't know which of the two of them was more profoundly shocked.
He does go on, Lord Canterville, that is.
Dad, do you really think there's a ghost?
Certainly not.
Why didn't you say something?
Well, your father'd be a fine ambassador if he went around saying what he thought.
Couldn't there possibly be a ghost?
Not possibly. I'm sure that everything that's happened here has had a logical explanation.
But listen to your father. But what about the blood? Revolting. But the logical explanation is, I imagine, that someone a long time ago dropped a rare roast beef.
Ma'am, tea will be served in the garden.
Thank you. Could you tell us, please, how long has that spot been there?
As long as I can remember, but I've only worked here for 71 years. Gory sight, ain't it?
Ah, but it needn't be.
No, sirree.
When you splatter the ink,
Dooby-doo, undertow.
or you flatten a bug,
Do be sure to use the undertow.
or you spatter your drink
Dooby-doo, undertow.
all over the rug.
Dooby-dooby-dooby-doo, be sure to use the undertow.
Should any spot, blot, or blemish be found underfoot,
Dooby-dooby, undertow.
on tile or parquet, or any old place, a foot is a foot.
Dooby-dooby, undertow.
Don't wring your hands, don't fret, don't sigh. Be sure to keep a good supply of undertow.
Dooby-dooby, sure to use it.
Undertow.
Dooby-dooby, sure to use the undertow.
Believe in undertow. It makes unsightly floors sightly. Undertow. Go.
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 Dooby-dooby, sure to use the undertow.
Well, that's the end of that.
I hope so, sir.
And I don't want to hear any more discussion about it.
Dad?
Well, what's worrying you, Virginia?
The ghost. If there is one.
Oh, now, young lady, there's no reason to be frightened.
I'm not frightened. I'm concerned.
Now, Virginia, perhaps because of my work, I rarely say anything definite that you can put your finger on, but let's get this straight. There is no such thing as a ghost.
But...
There is no such thing as a ghost.
No such thing as a ghost.
This carpet is Island Park by Lee's. Isn't it beautiful? Look at that deep, dense nylon pile. Now, watch us try to wreck it. Lee's made Island Park of heavy filament nylon. Packed good and thick, so it's good and handsome. Island Park is stain resistant, feet resistant, just about everything resistant. And the back is as tough as the front. It can even stand up to torture like this. If you have a bouncy family, shouldn't you have Island Park on your floor? Less than $9 a square yard. One of those heavenly carpets by Lee's, with lots of good down-to-earth reasons for buying it.
Lee's Carpets, just one part of Burlington Industries. If it's anything to do with fabric, we do it at Burlington, and we do more of it than anyone in the world.
No such thing as a ghost. 'Tis time, methinks, for me to show myself. Since 7 days have passed, and all the week, at dawn and dusk, I've hooted and I've howled to no avail. Again, to no avail, I midnightly have replaced the spot of blood that daily they removed. And by the by, that cleansing stuff they use is but the best. To be so good at spots and yet to say, no such thing as a ghost. In what disguise shall I present myself? What part of 50 I am famous for? I cannot wait to see what they shall see. Yes. I shall be Silent Jack, a body snatcher, although bodiless, whose silence penetrates the night. It's somewhat obvious, but somehow right. No such thing as a ghost.
Get out of Dodge City.
So comfortable here, it could be Connecticut. One for that all-pervading smell of Brussels sprouts.
And His Grace the Duke of Cheshire.
Show him in. Turn that thing off for us. We're so pleased, David, that you could come for the weekend.
I'm sorry to be so late. How'd you do, son?
Oh, hello, young man. Come in, make so. Oh, dear.
Well, boys. Hi. Well, Virginia.
Hello, David. O'Brien, take His Grace's things to that bedroom beyond the void.
Very good, ma'am.
The one with the flowered fuchsia draperies.
It's a super place. Have any of you seen the ghost?
Oh, not you, young man. You don't believe in that stuff, do you?
Oh, but there is a ghost.
Thank you, Your Grace.
I remember as a young fella hearing all about him.
We've heard nothing else for a week. The servants are dripping in folklore.
The people around here think there's a ghost because it's such a noisy place. All that hooting and howling.
Woo! Enough of that, dear. Save it for Halloween.
Come on, Matthew.
If he did exist, certainly they'd know about it at the embassy.
But you understood there was a ghost.
And we'd better get our story straight. Will you look at that?
Pay no attention.
Someone's trying to scare us.
Who do you think it is?
Tom, the stable.
Too tall. Must be the garden.
Very funny.
Would you like to see the gardens?
More than anything. Excuse us.
Of course. Where is weather, dear?
Yes, Mom.
Anne.
The Duke of Cheshire. He's a darling boy.
Good family, I imagine.
Are we in a draft?
All England is in a draft.
Bob comes right in this room. I'm going to bed, dear, and you?
Well, might as well. Oh, let it go. It is foggy.
I meant to tell you, dear, that spot of blood keeps reappearing every morning. Today it was blue. Blue blood. Whoever puts it there is under the impression that he's wildly amusing. Come along, darling.
What does a duke do?
Well, one tries to look after the family inheritance, and one sits in the House of Lords when one comes of age. But mainly one tries to behave so as not to bring dishonor to the family name, or names. Why do you ask?
I was worried.
You were?
Oh, I worry about everything. About you being the duke, and your swans going to winter, and about outer space. I worry about religion. I worry about my faith. I worry about my parents. I worry about my weight. I worry about the future. I worry about the past. I worry about the present. It's lovely, but where it lasts, I worry about most everything. And as a final touch, I worry that maybe I worry too much. It keeps me occupied.
But there's no point in it unless you can do something about it.
Well, what could I do about anything?
You could try.
And fall flat on my face to the amusement of everyone?
So what if you do? When something seems worth trying, you try it. When something seems worth doing, you do it. A wee baby bird is a laughable sight as he tries and he fails on his very first flight. We watch and we laugh, you and I, and while we are laughing, he's learning to fly. So when something seems worth trying, then try it. I mean, what has one got to lose when something strikes your fancy? Just do it. Go to it, I promise you, no matter how badly or goodly it's done. The doing and trying can be great fun. But how will you ever know that if you never try?
Yes, you're right.
You never know what will happen.
Oh, I'll end up a social worker or a sub-editor of Harper's Bazaar.
Or a duchess.
Your age.
You know, since we met, I haven't even looked at another girl. Not even Tinky Mosshaven.
You deserve a medal.
I deserve a kiss.
It might disappoint you.
It won't.
Well, it might disappoint me.
How will you ever know that if you never try?
The dance of death performed for fools it was, for blind men and for puppy dogs in love. If only shudder, the smallest shriek would satisfy my pride. But no, I must be somebody loud and foul. Ichabod, the graveless fool.
Anne,
Yes, dear.
did you wear any jewelry to bed?
Did I what?
You're playing.
I'm not.
You are.
It's the plumbing.
Well, Something must be done about it.
Look in that little bathroom a quarter of a mile down the hall.
It sounds closer than that.
What is it, dear?
It's a little difficult to say. Good evening. I'm the American... no, just a moment. If you are a ghost, and it appears to be that you are, the least you can do is to be a quiet one. You see, there are children asleep upstairs, and I myself have what many people consider to be important work to be done. Now, there's plenty of room in this house for all of us and for you, provided we each show a little mutual respect and concern for the other. You know, your great country and mine have much in common, except for the language, of course. Well, understandably, your chains are noisy, but I do have a suggestion. Yes, indeed, I do. Why go clanging around, keeping people awake? You can muffle that sound. Yes, sir, here's what you take. To trap me squeak and creak and rattle and ear-splitting clank, a drop or two of rattle trap is money in the bank. Don't clench, don't clench, don't clench your fist. Just add to every shopping list. Rattle trap, rattle trap. Believe in rattle trap. Made of the finest graphite and purest vegetable oil in the world. Rattle trap. It's a snap. It was, nothing.
Castle has the worst plumbing in England.
Dad, I think there's been a car crash.
No, it sounded like a plane to me.
No,
It must have been.
Now, wait a minute, everybody listen to me. Perhaps I was a bit dogmatic in my denial of the existence of supernatural beings.
You mean? Listen to your father.
Now, let's get one thing straight. There's a ghost in the house.
There is?
Your father says so.
I happened to run into him, and all I can say at the present time is that he is a ghost.
Well, I don't like it. I don't like the whole idea of a stranger in the house.
There he is!
Where?
There!
Follow me! Come back here, boys.
Wait up. Don't go. Boy! Matthew! Boy!
Be off, do you not hear your mother call? Be off! Barbaric things! Have you no fear? Vengeance! Vengeance!
This feels like silk. Soft. Red?
If you remember fiberglass as something scratchy and brittle and shiny and oily and beige, forget it. Burlington weaves a fiberglass that looks like linen or cotton or silk. 246 different fabrics, more than 40 different colors. It's so much more beautiful than the fiberglass you remember. We had to invent a whole new name for it. Vista Glass. Did you ever think something so easy to take care of could look this good? Vista Glass. Burlington Glass Fabrics, just one part of Burlington Industries. If it's anything to do with fabric, we do it at Burlington, and we do more of it than anyone in the world.
Stage 67 continues after station identification. This portion was brought to you by Burlington Industries. Industries. If it's anything to do with fabric, we do it for you, your home, and industry. This portion of Stage 67 is brought to you by Singer, who invites you to go to Singer first for sewing machines, fabrics, everything for sewing. What's new for tomorrow is at Singer today.
Golden touch, just like the sun. Golden touch, new brilliant one.
Introducing the newest, most exciting sewing machine in the world. The beautiful Golden Touch and Sew sewing machine by Singer. Dozens of exclusive new features, like this threader for the golden slant needle. Watch this exclusive push-button bobbin. Winds right in the machine. Your new Golden Touch and Sew machine does all three kinds of sewing. Straight, zigzag, and chain stitch. Make custom buttonholes, too, automatically. Come sew on the new Golden Touch and Sew at your Singer Center. One of 5 wonderful Touch and Sew models from $149.95.
Golden touch to make your life more fun. What's new for tomorrow is at Singer today.
I have been standing here and seething now for 20 hours or more. 22, to be exact. It is incredible that I should have on me such insults thrown. I don't get angry often. Now and then, once every 50 years or so. But now, tonight, I am so angry that I must swear vengeance. Impudent Americans, ere I'm done, one by one ye shall run, trembling, stumbling, shrieking in the night, whimpering for mercy, petrified with fright. Vengeance, complete sweet vengeance. Tonight, perforce, I must outdo myself. I must decide upon the perfect part. But which one? Which one? The Witch of Hazelmere, the bloodless Benedictine, Gaunt Gideon, the suicide skeleton. Memories! Shall I ever forget the nights I filled with pandemonium, the nights I filled with fear, such as Whitsunday, 1885. As the night was warm and windless, all the guests were strolling round. And I suddenly appeared upon the lawn tennis ground. With a minimum of moaning, just a few selected groans. I played a game of 9 pins with me own bleached bones. Not too bad for one night's haunting, I unsettled 26. 12 breakdowns, 10 prostrations, and 4 lifelong nervous tics. Ah, memories. And what of the night when the 10th Lord Canterville did play at whist with Edward, Duke of York, the Bishop of Buckminster, and Lord Grey? He marked the cards, he did, and built the bishop out of £30,000, and so besmirched the name of Canterville. Ah, that night. I invented something new in ectoplasmic masquerades. I became the knave of diamonds and the king and queen of spades. And I wrapped me icy fingers round the rascal's ruddy neck. And I forced the rogue to swallow his entire marked deck. He had finished all the hearts when he began to gasp for breath. Then he ate the ace of spades and promptly trumped himself to death. But enough of memories. I must go on. I must decide. Perhaps tonight the moon struck Margaret. Touffet. I must be something more. I have it. The very name turns Miss Stony Heart to love. I must be Wormy Isaac, the Wolf Boy. I'll provide some lugubrious music for the proper funereal note. Then I'll gibber and howl at the foot of their beds, and I'll stab myself thrice in the throat. I shall slowly become phosphorescent as my being begins to expand. I'll come closer and closer and place on their foreheads a venomous pulverine hand. Oh, that's good. From the air I shall pluck out my broadsword, and despite all their pleadings and tears, I shall raise it on high and then let it come crashing an eighth of an inch from their ears. Insolent Americans, ere I'm done, one by one ye shall run, trembling, stumbling, shrieking in the night, whimpering for mercy, petrified with fright, for the honor of England and the Canterville line. Vengeance shall be mine.
He's nowhere.
Nowhere to be found.
We've looked all over the place.
Now, boys, you've got to put a stop to this sound.
But I want to talk to him.
Whatever for?
We want to find out exactly what he is.
Well, now, boys, just listen to me. I've spent the whole day going into it, and, well, as you might say, the overall picture is this. A ghost is some sort of protoplasm of sorts. That is, they state or believe that is merely a stored-up electrical force, or cosmic force, or, something of that sort. Adrenaline.
That should do it for you.
We'd rather hear it from the ghost.
He would know any more about it than your father.
But
Now, wait a minute, boys. Just let's look at it from the ghost's point of view. Now, you've heard me use the expression peaceful coexistence, haven't you? Well, that's what I mean.
yes, sir.
May we go now?
Yes, yes.
Come on, Mark.
Bright boys.
You know what? If we could get got up as a ghost, you know, a ghost like him, maybe he wouldn't run away. Maybe he'd talk things over with us.
Ghost to ghost.
What about that?
Good idea.
Super dance.
Super. I thought Tinky Mosshaven looked absolutely fabulous in that dress of her grandmother's.
I didn't even notice.
You didn't?
So you know, all we seem to do is have fun. We should be engaged.
In what?
Engaged to be married.
Oh, David.
I want to marry you.
Well, why pick on me?
You're a decent sort.
A decent sort?
On this British Isle, understatement is the style. I'll break that rule. You're super. In my English dreams, your imported image gleams. You're more than cool. You're smashing. It was love at first sight. You're the all-American girl. All right. Your form, your face. Everything in its proper place. Look at what I see. Wish that you belonged to me. In one short word,
You're absolutely incredible.
unintentionally. You have spoiled the average girl for me. They're dumb, they're drab. As for you, you're sugar and spice and all things fab. I just want to say, in my own web-footed way, you're my ideal. That's how I feel. In one short word,
you're actually the most fantastic girl I've met in my entire life. You're super. I love you. I love you.
I heard you the first time.
I'll talk to my guardians.
What for?
To ask their permission to get married.
And if they say yes, you'd better propose to Tinky Mosshaven. She'll make a very tall duchess. Good night, David.
But Virginia...
Now you've given me something new to worry about. Good night.
Good night. We could do it in St. Paul's Cathedral.
David. You want to get married and you only shave once a week.
Virginia.
Our spaniel.
Oh, go away.
What's the matter?
Your little brother's dressed up like a ghost. I've never seen a ghost before.
Serves you right.
Huh? Oh, you Americans.
Well, what about us Americans?
At long last, when you do believe in ghosts, you're simply not the slightest bit impressed. Your countrymen must be by far the most insensitive and stupid in the world.
And you must be by far the most ghastly ghost in the world. You're loud and vulgar and... I'm leaving.
No, don't go. Go. I'm lonely. Unhappy here.
You should be carrying on the way you do. And don't think I don't know about those spots of blood.
Huh?
You've been stealing all the reds from my paint box. And that abstraction I was going to call Roses and Chaos, I'm forced to simply call Chaos. And now I'm going to sleep, and so should you.
Oh, I haven't slept for centuries, you know.
You haven't?
No, I have a headache. Oh, such a fearful headache.
I often have them.
Oh, yes, but not like mine. Mine's an extra-temporal headache.
Should a headache explode, bringing torment and grief, here's the rapidest road to relief. No need to throb or sob or suffer or blow your top. 2 tablets make your headache stop. Believe in overhead and headache over. Overhead, overhead, overhead.
They wouldn't do me any good, you know.
They don't do me much good. Is being a ghost fun?
Well, the haunting part of it is quite a lark.
I know about that.
But what else is there to do? It's not exciting, you know, this life or death, whichever it may be. And do you know? You are the first, the very first that I have spoken to in all these years.
You mean you never speak to anyone?
Never. I soliloquize, of course, a great deal, but mostly I just dream.
You dream?
I dream that someday, to lie forever just beyond the pond, that little pond that's fringed with asphodel. Behind it is a withered almond tree, you know it, and half a chapel time has left behind. And there was what was once a garden, gone to seed, save for a few cornflowers that come back every spring. I like to dream I shall lie forever in soft brown earth and listened. Silence.
Beyond the pond, you say?
Just beyond the pond. Shall I now take you there? You're not afraid?
It's just beyond the pond.
Come with me. Yes, come with me, my child.
Virginia? I know, it was childish of me to want to get married. Virginia? Virginia? Virginia?
Get the most fun out of life, out of being a mother and wife. With new fashion, excitement, that's all created by you. On your new Touch and Sew sewing machine by Singer. Touch and Sew, another first from Singer.
Be the girl with the golden touch on your new Singer Golden Touch and Sew machine. Dozens of exclusive features, like this new built-in needle threader for the golden slant needle and the push-button bobbin that winds right in the machine. What a wonderful new feeling. You can do all three kinds of sewing: straight, zigzag, and chain stitch.
Touch and Sew, the push-button bobbin way.
Come sew on one at your Singer Center. Choose from 5 Touch and Sew models from $149.95.
What's new for tomorrow is at Singer today.
Virginia! 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 Miss Virginia! Virginia!
I found the person top of the stairs, but she's nowhere to be found.
Is there anybody there?
Brian, go and get Lord Canterville.
Has been sent for.
He must know all sorts of secret passages.
Has that call come through yet? Where's that constable? I sent for him a half an hour ago. Ah, there you are.
Right, here we are. Now, who's been murdered?
No one's been murdered. My daughter, Virginia.
Oh, a scandal.
Of course not.
Oh, pity. I shall never get a new bike at this rate.
I was apprehensive when we took this place. Somehow everything that's happened must be my fault.
No, it was my fault. I was rude to Virginia last night. I asked her to marry me.
What do you mean no one's there? This is the American Embassy, isn't it? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I didn't know the time. Well, this is the ambassador's... Well, that's better. Yeah.
Now, can you give me an accurate description?
She's a fabulous sight. She's the all-American girl. All right. Her form, her face.
Any moles?
Everything in its proper place in my...
I'm sorry to wake you up, fella, at this time of night, but this is important. Something dire has happened to Virginia. No, my daughter is Virginia.
I'm going to sit here quietly until 6 o'clock. And then I'm going to start screaming. And I'm not going to stop until Virginia is found.
I want you to report this to Scotland Yard, the Home Office, the Foreign Office, and anybody else you can think of. But make sure no one knows about it.
She's the most fantastic girl I've met in my entire life. She's super.
I see. What a funny lot.
I say, O'Brien has told me about your daughter. Do you know, I'm reminded of a weekend we had here in the early spring of 1959. One of the guests was the Reverend Augustus Dampier, a fellow of Magdalen, the Oxford one, you know. Well, as you probably know, he's partially handicapped by...
I've got it. I have got it. What? Who? You've put me off now. Yes. I know where she is. The gypsies have got her. I'll wager my pork and pickle sandwiches to a baked hedgehog. The gypsies have got her. Now, I saw a band of them camped outside the village yesterday, next to the vicar's cesspool. Now, this shall be my modus operandi. We'll go there now. We'll surround them. We'll hit them all over the head. We'll search the place. We'll get her out, bring her home, and Bob's your uncle.
You think we should?
We better.
Right, are we off then? Yes. I'm rather looking forward to this. I haven't matched wits with a gypsy in donkey's years. Follow me.
Dad.
What?
We didn't want to tell you, but...
But what?
Last night we got dressed up as a ghost, and we met Sir Simon.
Oh, you didn't. And after that nice long speech of your father's.
He was all strange and funny.
He seemed desperate.
Virginia.
Oh, dear.
Lord Canterville?
Actually, what had happened was he'd fallen into the gun room and accidentally let off a Spanish arquebus.
Lord Canterville, I'm not being pretentious, but this could develop into an international incident.
After all, he's an English ghost.
Couldn't we perhaps find a faith healer or a druid?
Oh, I don't know what we can do, but can't we do it now?
Yes, of course we can, of course.
The constable.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, no. Oh, no. If my mum knew I was hanging about haunted houses, she'd give me a right seeing to, because I'm the only child, you see. I know I'm not much, but I'm all she's got. In fact, she only let me join the police force on the understanding that I would not get into any trouble. Oh, look at the time. If I'm not back at the station, in 10 minutes I shall miss me cocoa. But don't worry, I shall put in a complete report. Mind you, I'm no more frightened of ghosts than the next man. But to put it plainly, the next man's frightened of ghosts. Well, have you ever tried to handcuff one? Well then, when you Americans have been going long enough to have ghosts, then you can start criticizing. Thank you.
You wouldn't think one ghost would cause all this confusion.
And now I'll bid you good night, if you'll kindly clear a path. Thank you. Nice to catch you.
That ghost was just as alive as you or I. I met him. He just can't disappear into thin air.
Oh, yes, he can.
Well, Virginia can. She must be here someplace.
We need organization. Lord Canterville, will you go out with David? You and I will go this way. You two look around here. You boys look anywhere. Let's go.
Here is her grave. Oh, what a woman she was. What a wife. When she laughed, she would toss back her head, and then her laughter was so sweet that the butterflies would stop to listen. Her brothers were enraged with me. They had me walled up behind the arch in the north turret. What a torture of it. My bones still lie there. Afterwards, they gave her burial, and on the chapel wall, these verses are engraved. I was guilty, I suppose. I don't know. I became a ghost.
Is there somewhere a maiden there within whose heart doth pity live? Some tender maid all unafraid who can forgiveness give, and if she
Is there somewhere a maiden fair whose tears shall be that gentle child. If such there be, this barren tree shall bloom within the hour. And if she weep, there be mercy still, and peace will come to Canterville.
And if she weeps, but no one will weep for you. No one in all the world.
What? Never?
It was a dreadful thing you did.
I know.
People simply do not go around murdering their wives.
Oh, but it sometimes happens. Look, we were to travel up to London to see a play. Shakespeare or somebody. It said to be excellent stuff. And, well, we were all prepared to set out. It was dawn, and suddenly she said, "I do not wish to go." I said, "Then I shall go without you." And she said, "You will go with me, or you will not go at all, and I do not wish to go." I said, "Out of my way, piglet." And she said, "No, my wart." So I brushed her aside, and then she brushed me in return, and then a bit rougher on my part and rougher still on hers. She was Welsh, you know. And then I, with a push, I cried, "You Mopsy!" and she, with a push, cried, You gawk hammer!" And then once again I, and once again she, and then I. I regret to say that this incident took place in the minstrel's gallery.
You shouldn't have done it.
Well, I said I was sorry. There's a tear in the corner of your eye. Oh, a tear of laughter, perhaps, but nonetheless a tear. Please, I beg of you, let it fall. One tear, and I shall see my Eleanor again and beg her sweet forgiveness. I've loved her through all the years. And to love someone, oh, it's better than life. It's better than death. Weep for me. I have no tears. Weep. Weep.
Poor Sir Simon.
For you, my child. Remember well the words engraved there.
The readiness is all.
Farewell. I shall lie beside my Eleanor and await my bones. Oh, look! That old almond tree has blossomed again. I've never known that happen. Even when I was a boy, I remember my grandfather, General Lord Alfred Canterville, saying that his grandfather, known to his friends as Binky Canterville.
The readiness is all.
Virginia! Virginia! What happened?
Nothing. And everything.
We were worried about you.
There's no point in worrying, ever.
What an angel you are.
Oh.
Lord Canterville, Sir Simon is gone forever. He gave me this. His bones are behind the north turret. You'd better dig them out and bury them here.
I'll see that it's done. And I'm told that a non-haunted castle commands a great many dollars.
Virginia.
Yes, David. When the time is right.
Virginia! Virginia! Virginia!
chased all over town for buttons to match this.
Where can I find everything to make children's clothes?
Oh, a lot of them.
Can anyone tell me how to sew up a simple dress?
Go to Singer first. Find everything for sewing. Fashion ideas, coordinated trims, notions, fabrics, and of course the finest sewing machines. Sew on the new Golden Touch and Sew machine. Fabulous, with a built-in needle threader for the golden slant needle. And the push-button bobbin, all Singer exclusives. Available in 5 models from $149.95. See other fine Singer sewing machines from $59.50. Remember, when you want anything for sewing,
Go to Singer first.
Go to Singer first.
By all means, go to Singer first.
what's new for tomorrow is at Singer today.